So let's just talk about the red-black tree. So the red-black tree is a self-balancing binary search tree. Here it maintains the balance by enforcing specific properties using the node color. And here the node color can be either red or black. So the red-black tree is similar to the AVL tree because both of the tree is the self-balancing tree. But in case of AVL tree, here it uses the height of the left and right subtree to balance the tree. But in case of red-black tree, here it uses the node color. Because both of the trees are self-balancing, so different operations will be really efficient. So if we perform the search operation, insertion operation or deletion operation, all of these operations will be really efficient and can be done with the complexity order of log n. So normally each node has the structure. So here it contains the pointer to the left subtree and this is the pointer to the right subtree, and then we contain the key or the data. But in case of red-black tree, also we have the color scheme for each of the node. The color can be either red or the color can be black, and we can use the single bit to represent that. Either we can use 0 or 1. So here we have the properties of the red-black tree. So the first property is that here each node can have the color either red or black. So you can see here we have the red-black tree, and you can notice each node is either black or red, and the root node will always be black. So here the root node must be black. And the third point is that here no two adjacent red nodes are allowed. Like in example, suppose we have one red node. Now the adjacent child node must not be red. This should be black. Two black nodes can be adjacent, but two red nodes cannot be adjacent. That means a red node can't have a red child. So here you can see the black node can have the black child. That means black adjacent nodes are allowed, but two red nodes cannot be adjacent. So you can see no two red nodes are adjacent. So the fourth property is that all leaf nodes are black and they should not contain any data. So they should be null. So you can see these are all the leaf nodes and they do not contain any data. So these leaf nodes are null. So they are mainly used for the structure of the tree. So the last point is that every path from a node to its descendant null node must have the same number of black nodes. So that simply means every path from a node, so path from a node to its descendant null node, that means from this node to this null node. So this is the path, this is another path, this is the path, this is another path. So we have multiple paths. Using that we can reach these null nodes. So all of these different paths must have the same number of black nodes. So if we count the black nodes, so if we took this path, you can see we have one black node. If we took this path, we have one black node. If we take this path, we have one black node. So no matter what path we take, we're having the same number of black nodes. So this is one important property of the red-black tree, and this is applicable to all of the nodes. So suppose you are taking this node, so no matter what path we take to reach to this leaf node, we're gonna have the same count of this black node, and this is one of the important properties of the red-black tree. So these are all the properties of the red-black tree. Importantly, we should remember that two red nodes should not be connected directly, and the black node count should be same for all the path towards this leaf node. So hope you understand about this red-black tree. See you in the next one. Take care.